I met Natali Rosales in a photojournalism class at a local college. Her warm, sweet personality broke the stereotype of models being cold and aloof, aiding to everyone in class fast becoming friends. Her success, like that of the other people I have interviewed, is based on going all in on what you want to achieve and marketing yourself, an act that takes more courage than you might think. I hope you'll join me as we go to meet Natali Rosales. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, overall woman's voice, I guess it's a little bit deeper. I don't know,
Wait, what? It's deeper?
You're not deep for, like, a man's voice.
Oh, okay, for a woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a librarian when I was a little kid, and we go listen to her read books. And she'd go, "The Cat in the Hat knows a lot about that."
She should be one of those, what do you call those? When you download the app and
audio
you're just reading.
book reader.
Book reader.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm here with Natali Rosales, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Natali Rosales. I am from Tyler, Texas, and
Like what you do? Like,
I'm nervous.
no, you're fine. Like, you do modeling, correct?
I do modeling.
Yeah. So I guess what I'd like to know is kind of how you get into that. Like,
How did I get into modeling? Long story.
yeah.
So, I was never really into the modeling area. I was always very confident, and I love like fashion. I love dressing up and looking cute.
Yeah.
So later on, as I grew up. Everywhere I would go, people would be like, "Are you a model?" And I'd be like, "No," and they'd be like, "You should be a model," you know. So everywhere I went, it was always the same thing. And also, as I was growing up, I had an uncle that he would call me modelo, which means model in Spanish. So I was sort of like, you know what? I should probably go towards modeling because I used to want to do ER pediatric. And for me, I think ever since I had kids, I thought it would be too late to go back to that hospital stuff. I didn't want to do that anymore. It wasn't in me anymore. And I was like, you know what, maybe, I never really thought about going back to school either. So I was like, maybe I should aim towards that. So one day I just decided, you know, what if when people ask me, are you a model, what if I just decide to say yes and see where that goes, you know?
Yeah.
So then one day, well, you know, days went on, people were like, hey, are you a model? I'm like, yeah. They'd be like, oh, you're so pretty, you know, whatever. And then one time, this lady messaged me on Facebook, and she's like, hey, do you do modeling? And I was like, yeah, you know, I really didn't ever do modeling. I was just like, yes. And she's like, well, I'm trying to grow my portfolio in this area, because she was a photographer in Arizona. She was like, I'm trying to grow my portfolio in this area, you know, because she was so used to doing, I think, couple shoots. I wasn't sure. But she wanted to grow her area in weddings. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know, what do we got to do? And at that time, I was dating a guy, and we were doing couple shoots together. So I was like, yeah, you know, we can get what we needed to get, take care of it, and we'll head that way. We'll start from there. So, yeah, it started from there. We went there. They shot us. People saw our pictures, and they started reaching out to me. Hey, can you model for me for this shoot? Can you do this for that? Because a lot of people, when photographers, when they're not getting, like, customers, they kind of look for people that can grow their portfolio so people can kind of think that they're actually growing. And that's basically where I would come in. And I would get paid for it, or my trips would get paid. And at first I was like, it's just for the fun of it. And then it got deeper, where I was getting from companies, you know, clothing companies, to market all this stuff. And then it went to shows, like Netflix shows and films and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, wow.
So you were in, like, Netflix shows?
No, I got offered 2 positions in Netflix. And I didn't take them because it was last minute. So it was like, I think it was June 4th or May 4th. And it was like that same week. I work, so I was like, oh, wow, I can't just drop it, you know? But I share an office with my coworker. He's always been, like, very supportive, and he's like, hey, you're gonna have to just leave work and go do it. I wasn't convinced at that moment. I was like, no, because I also have my children. I can just decide to go.
Just leave all of a sudden.
You know? So, yeah, that was twice. And then I had another one in Dallas, but that was a short film. And then I had one in Tyler for a short film also, but I have never went into it. I never really wanted to get into that area, and so that's
like
why
modeling or specifically acting.
I would say acting.
Acting.
Yeah, modeling. I enjoy modeling. I want to stick with modeling, so I don't wanted to go from modeling to acting because then it's just like, I don't know,
Yeah.
So maybe I'll give it a try and then go from there. But right now I want to be strictly just modeling.
Yeah. You mentioned, like, when we were talking about, you said you were doing a shoot. Is that a movie or something you're working on now?
I'm sorry?
You were saying that on weekends you were filming. Is that like a movie you're working on now?
No, on weekends I do shoots, like photo shoots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do photo shoots. I usually try to get, like, for example, if I go out of, because I do a lot of traveling too. If I haven't had, like, somebody reach out to me, let's say I'm going to California and I know people from California or anybody that I know does business over there, I'll reach out and be like, hey, I'll be in California if you want to collab or do anything. And they'll be like, oh yeah. And then it goes from there. They usually, have fun or enjoy being with me, and then they call me and be like, hey, I'm going to shoot for this, for that, and then that's how it just goes from there.
Yeah. So if, let's say, somebody was aspiring to be a model, what would, like, you knowing what you know now, because you kind of went into it blind, what would your advice for them be?
Don't go with the agency.
Don't go with an agency?
No, because, see, a lot of people go to the agencies to help them reach certain people and stuff, which will help a lot, but at the end, once you get business with certain people, you have to pay them back. And me, it was so easy just jumping into it, build your own portfolio, make your own website, reach out to people that people, your friends, word, mouth to mouth and stuff like that, it helps a lot. So I would say a lot of it's 2022, it's more of internet, Facebook, Twitter,
just
Instagram.
Building your online
Build
presence.
your own stuff. Save your money on this area, and you will do great. Also done like clothing, like fashion, like runaways. I do fashion runaways wherever people have their own shops and they're wanting to show the public what they have. So I do runaways and stuff like that. I haven't really gotten big with that due to my height. They require a certain height. There is petite runaways. It's just harder to get in it. Yeah.
Get on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how much do you think, because like that was always the thing, was like a certain height to be a model. How much do you think that affects like the industry nowadays, like with what you're doing?
I just feel like the height nowadays shouldn't matter as much as it did then, because now how they do like they're trying to do like be comfortable with your body, your height, your size, your color, everything. Nowadays, like, okay, so why are we still needing that standard? Why are we still having to be a certain height to become a model or a runway model? Because everything else, like commercial and all this stuff, modeling, they don't really look into that. As long as you're comfortable enough, you have a great personality and you're good at it, it's so.
Yeah. I guess that was my question, was like, outside of that realm, height doesn't really affect
I don't think
as much as
matter.
it used.
Yeah.
So I guess, so do people usually reach out to you, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any weird stories from that?
A lot of weird stories, actually.
Because like when you were first telling me when we met in journalism class, I was like, there's got to be some creeps.
There's a lot of creeps, actually. I've had people pretend like they're photographers just to get around me. I've had people go in with a certain idea and reach out, hey, this is my idea, I want to shoot for this, and that. And as soon as I show up, it takes a whole, like, 360. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I've had people get mad because I don't want to model nude, or I don't want to do bikini shoots, because I try not to do bikini shoots or any type of area, around that. They get angry, actually, and it's like you can just tell which ones are really into for the photography and stuff like that, and which ones are really like perverted, and trying to get something else out of it.
I guess just for the audio listening value, like what's like the one main story you don't have to use names or addresses. We can protect the Uninnocent.
The main one, I have a lot, but the recent one that just happened was one when I went for an elegant shooting. It was supposed to be just elegant. I went, and I don't know where they were just like, okay, how about you take this off, or pose like this, pose like that, in a sexual way. I had to literally walk out.
Yeah.
I heard back from them, and they were trying to talk. Man, it's like, I want my money back. You need to give me a refund and all this stuff. I heard so much from it, and I was just like, I can't give you your money back. I'm not going to refund you.
Yeah.
We agreed on this, and he was very lucky we didn't sign a contract, because usually I have them sign contracts, and he was very lucky we didn't sign a contract. And yeah, I had to hear from that.
So was he working for anybody, or was
he was trying to grow his portfolio?
Yeah.
And photography, because he just jumped into it too. He didn't do any of that.
Really?
Yeah. So he was just
internet guy.
Instagram.
Yeah. Any other weird experiences?
Any other weird ones? Let's see. I've been stalked before.
Yeah.
Actually. And it was very creepy because I didn't know I was getting stalked, first of all. But I had this guy make several different accounts and reach out my actual business account trying to shoot.
Yeah.
And then one day I went to Dallas, and that guy was actually, we went to the mall, and he actually approached me. And I didn't know this guy at all. He approached me, and he was like, hey, aren't you that Instagram girl? And I was like, Instagram? Because I don't really, I post a lot on Instagram, but my business page is mostly on Facebook. And he was like, yeah. And he showed me, and it showed he was following me. And I was like, okay. He was like, I tried reaching out to you to do business. And I was like, you did? And I went and looked, and I was like, which one is you? And he pointed at one, but then he pointed at another one saying that was him also. And I was like, wait, so which one exactly is you? Yeah, and when I did leave them, I was just like, oh, hi, because I've had a lot of people be like, hey, I'm
So, like, how strangely specific was the place he showed up to? That's my question. Because you said you were just happened to be in Dallas. Was it like, was there any way he would have known?
I don't know. Either he has me on Snapchat, because that's mostly where I post everything, what I'm doing on Snapchat, and I always try to keep it just as my closest friends. Instagram and Facebook, I don't really care, but my Snapchat is who I have really close. And I did actually delete my Snapchat, started all over, and got rid of everybody, and started adding people that I did actually know, but other than that, I honestly don't know. I don't know, and it gets really creepy,
Yeah.
And there's times where I have people message me like, oh, hi, I love your work. I'm a big fan, stuff like that.
Oh, thanks.
So for me, it's just like, it's just a normal guy. But when that kind of stuff happens, and it's just like, okay, this is serious,
Yeah.
And
so I guess my next question was, what do you have for security?
A taser. Okay, so I didn't used to carry anything at all, right?
Yeah.
And I have I go to Miami a lot because I do a lot of shoots over there. And I have a friend over there, his name is Chris, and he's always just like, hey, you need to be careful everywhere you go, because they kidnap people here, or they do all this sex trafficking here. You're a very beautiful woman, you need to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. And I was always like, because I'm so used to always being on my own and nothing has ever happened, so I'm always like, I'm good, nothing's gonna happen. And then there was a certain point where I was alone with a friend, and we had to do this modeling for this guy, and we were there for till 4 a.m. I dozed off on the seat. I dozed off, and I was just like, I wake up, and I don't know how it happened. I was in a hotel, and I was just like, okay, what is going on? I wasn't drunk. I wasn't anything. I was just asleep. I guess I was deep. I was sleeping really hard. So I was like, okay, ever since that day, I got really scared. I got very lucky because she knew the people. Mm-hmm. So I got very lucky, and I was like, okay, I need to take care of myself, because I could have been kidnapped,
Yeah.
And ever since then, I said I was going to give me a gun, a small gun or something, and it never happened. And then I met a friend, and he actually gave me his taser. And I've been carrying it around since then.
I was
it's
just
like, oh my God.
Listen, from me and all the people who know you, who want to keep you alive, you need to start traveling in groups of people.
Especially what
Okay,
would happen in class when in journalism. Wait, oh my gosh, he will follow me everywhere. It was so creepy.
But no, you told us a story in class about your favorite photo you had of you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, the whole time I was listening to that story, I thought it was going to end very badly.
Why?
Because you're like, this person reaches out to me. They say, hey, can you fly out to Miami? I'm going to pay for everything, right?
Yeah.
And then you tell us about how you go there. You're there for 2 days and nothing happens.
Yes.
So the whole time...
I actually was very upset. I was like, I came here to shoot. What are we doing?
The whole time I'm thinking it's going to be a kidnapping story.
Oh my gosh, yes. So when I go out and I travel and stuff like that, most of the time I had to be, I do try to do my research and see, what on their work, or if they've done any work like that. And I do go in like blindfolded, it's just like, okay, is this serious? Am I going to kidnap? I'll send info to people. I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there and stuff like that. But yeah, that day we had agreed to shoot and nothing was happening. I guess he was busy or something. And he was like, I have something set up for you. And I was like, okay, like, are you going to kill me now? But no, we met up and he was basically saying, oh, well, I was actually expecting you to leave me hanging, and I didn't believe you would fly all the way out here just for me. So after that, he's like, I have a surprise for you. And then I go, and he has all these photographers ready for me, and I just go from there. We start going from there, and they just start shooting. I met so many great people that day. I still have people from that day reach out to me and like, hey, when are you coming back so we can shoot?
Yeah.
I'll be in Dallas. I'll be in Austin. I'll be around your area so we can meet up and shoot. So, yeah, that was a great, I'm glad I took that chance.
Did you travel with anybody?
No, I traveled by myself.
Okay, don't do that. I told the story to my girlfriend, and she's like, she's going to die. Don't let her do that. She looks really sweet. Like,
no, I actually do travel everywhere by myself. Reason why I travel everywhere by myself is because I don't have the time to wait on people to say, hey, are you available to go, here? A lot of people last minute, they cancel, or a lot of people, oh, I'm broke,
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, like, if I'm going to do, I'm going to go get up and go, And France... I really don't stay connected with anybody like that. I did lose a lot of friends through this whole modeling thing. I lost a lot of friends through that, and so it's just been me on my own.
Why would you say you've lost friends through that?
I would say, basically, I really don't have time for friends and stuff like that. I'm always busy. I'm always on the road. It's I'm a mom. I have another job. I have my modeling. I had school, so my schedule was always busy.
Yeah.
So I would never have time for anything except maybe the gym, Most people don't like going to the gym. All my friends, none of them wanted to go to the gym, so
Yeah.
I never met up with them. Also, a lot of, once I started modeling and I needed support from certain friends, they weren't there, so it was time to cut strings with people. It's like, why would I have them around if they're not going to be supportive of what I'm doing, and just stuff like that. And it's just like, you don't need people that are going to hold you back. And a lot of people are also like, what if it doesn't happen, or what if this happens, or don't do this, don't do that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you do get stuck listening to them. So kind of don't travel.
Kind of like what I was telling you.
So it's just like, okay, I don't need that. I need somebody who's gonna be pushing me. So I'm like, you know what? I have to let go of you, and so but don't get me wrong. I did keep a few friends around that I can always reach out to, or always reach out to me, or always just like, hey, how are you doing?
That core group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your modeling going? Don't forget about us,
Yeah.
Always that kind of people. And I feel like I've always told them, once I get up there, that's the main people I'm going to bring with me, that I'm actually going to remember,
Yeah. So you're working another job too.
Yes.
At what point do you think you're going to just go and do this full time?
I've been actually thinking about that. I wanted to just go for it. The only reason I don't is because I love my job so much. And I feel like I owe so much loyalty to my boss, because he's awesome. He's just great. And I love what I do, and it's good money too. So I'm just like, I don't want to leave it, But I've had, conversations with friends and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? I really want to because school was keeping me behind too. Like once I started school, it's just I had to limit my traveling. I had to actually cancel shoots. The films, the Netflix stuff. It's just like, oh my gosh, I was losing so many opportunities. So now that I finally was like, decided that I'm not going back to school. Now it's like, okay, is it time now to leave my job and do that full time? Because honestly, modeling pays for anything and everything that I'm gonna need to get paid, for it. And I'm like, well, if that's already doing what it has to do, imagine when I go full time.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I'm really afraid of is, it's slowing down.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I think I will have to find something that's gonna be there, and I don't know. That's the only thing I'm scared of. That's just gonna start going down, and I don't have something to depend on.
Yeah. Do you have any other friends in the modeling world? Like, have you met anybody?
I met one in Miami, and we've been like this. Actually, when I go to Miami, she meets me in Miami, but she lives in Boston. And
but
she's not in here in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess like, have you talked with them and seen like, because I'm sure there's ups and downs and stuff like that.
She's loving it. She's enjoying. She wants me to go full time. Yeah. She wants me to go for it. But see, she doesn't have much to worry. She doesn't have kids. She's actually, I think she works as a pharmacist. Yeah. So she's enjoying it. I don't think she's doing full time either yet. I don't know if she wants to do that. So I can't really ask her, hey, how's the full time life in modeling? Yeah. And I don't know. I don't have anybody that's actually gone full time into it. Yeah.
Well, my advice would be find somebody and see what
fast.
See what they think. Is there anything else like you would want to talk about, like something you're like working on or something that you're excited about?
Oh wow, I'm working on a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I'm starting just fresh. Like everything is just like I'm trying to give up everything that I've been second guessing, or thinking about all that, and just go straight into this. All the people that reached out to me to book with me, and I've had them wait, or I'm like, we'll do it later. I'm reaching out to all of them. We're going all in. Everything. We're doing this. Maybe I also like my friend in Miami. His name, like I said, his name is Chris. He's the one that always like, hey, remember, this is what you want. Go for it. Just do it. He's always like, you can depend on me, because he's actually the major secretary in Miami, so he knows a lot of people. He's like, come on, baby, I got you. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. So sometimes I get scared to be like, okay, yeah, I'll go through that. I'll do it and see where it goes. But then I was like, you know what? Just trust him. Go for it. That's basically it. Just I have to stop being scared.
Yeah, just go for it.
Go for it.
So if anybody wants to see all your stuff and follow you, where can they do that at?
They can actually go to my Instagram, which is Wanderlust Owl XX, which is WANDERLUST OWLXX, or my Facebook, which is Wanderlust XX. And I'm also working on my website, which will be wix.com/wanderlustxx.
Okay, I'll put all those.
Yeah, we can put once I get it done, I'll send
stuff.
it to you and we can get it done.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Well, thank you very much for interviewing with me today.
Thank you for having me, Isaac.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed listening to the interview, and if you did, go ahead and just like and follow or whatever it is on the platform you're listening to. That just helps me reach more people. Thanks. I saw you just do that. You're pretty neat.